This episode of The Direction is brought to you by these fine partners. Just tell me, all right, so when you were a kid, you grew up here in Taylorsville.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're under, that's a crappie. Frank!
Hey, buddy!
So you actually got to play at the Grand Ole Opry?
6 times, yeah. That's on there too, yeah.
Out of here.
Yeah.
That's what we looking for.
Yeah, look at that.
There we go, boys. Start talking music, and these fish are like music to my ears. But they're dancing now. You didn't know I had moves like that. Everyone has a story. Sometimes it's about catching monster bass. Now that's a studly muddly, baby. And sometimes it's about life's lessons. Every story is as unique as the person who tells it. So join us as we make some new friends, reunite with some old ones, catch a few fish, and share a story or two. I'm Mark Stowe, and this is The Direction.
We all have those memories that stand out of our childhood. Some of Grandpa taking us fishing or running around with our friends at a ball field. But others, like Shannon Lawson, have memories of hearing tales of how an actual lake was made into being out of nothing but farm ground. That lake is Taylorsville Lake in Kentucky, and the Lawson family has roots running back as far as history records. Now a singer in Nashville with many title tracks and tours to his name, Shannon spends some time at home in a place that changed so much, but still feels like the good old days.
I don't know how many people like country music, but folks, I'm a country music fan. I'm also from a small town called Taylorsville, Kentucky, which has a lake called Taylorsville, Kentucky.
Is there anybody that doesn't like country music? I don't think so.
You know, I think you've got a point. Point being, Shannon Lawson, country music. You spent your...
Singer-songwriter, yeah.
Singer-songwriter, that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
And see, in my world, we can't say bass fisherman, crappie fisherman.
Right.
I say catch it all. That's what I say.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, you know. I got the hat, but that doesn't really necessarily denote a stylistic. It's a nice hat, so, you know. It's my fishing hat.
We're both grassroots in Taylorsville.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to spend a day trying to catch some crappie on our home body of water, and I'm sure you're going to have some stories to tell about this lake.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were around before the lake was here.
That's
and,
right. I was here when they were
too.
making this lake, so yeah.
It's going to be a good day. Look at Shannon, man. You drive that thing like a pro.
Brake's not working.
You know, those brakes in them boats tend not to work all that way. So all we're going to do is every little stick and twig that are down the bank, we are going to throw at it.
Okay.
The one thing you want to do is if you throw closer to the bank, you know, like you're going to throw up and it gets real shallow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you grab your bobber and you move it down here, you know, a little shallow.
Right.
Sometimes you slide it up and you just kind of press on it a little bit, kind of get the depth. These first couple, I caught them about 4 or 5 feet deep on them. It's my favorite thing to come and do anymore. I caught 2 good ones out of this pile. Son, let me just say, sometimes you just can't be stubborn in how you're putting the bait out there. I had to do a little tactic switch in there. I was reeling that bait and got hit. That's what we're here for, the Taylorsville crappie. We need him to grow up. He wasn't big enough, Shannon.
Yep.
So tell me, all right, so when you were a kid, you grew up here in Taylorsville.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got into music, and did it start to grow while you were still living here? Or how did you kind of make the decision and kind of start, I guess, pursuing the like songwriting and the you know, singing side of it and that?
I started playing, you know, when I was 7, but I got serious about it when I was 14. And then started writing songs around, you know, about 16. and was going to college and all of that stuff, but I was playing a little here and there. And then I ended up moving down to Nashville, and I got signed to MCA about a year after I got down there and did a record and a video on CMT and the whole 9 yards.
So what about your dad? So your dad, the whole family's kind of into music, right?
Oh,
sister, dad, I mean, everybody kind of has that.
That's the way we've always communicated, really. Music was always at the core of our family life. I mean, my dad and his brothers and my grandfather and his brothers and his father and his brothers, they all played. They all had family bands like that. Dad remembers when he was little that they'd get together and play rent parties and stuff like that, and square dances and barn dances.
Casting that little jig, reeling it.
I smell a cigarette. This guy's over there smoking.
He's smoking.
Smoking little fish. Is that the same one?
It's the same one, I believe.
It looks like it is.
This segment was brought to you by Jinko Fishing. It's all about the action. So I like music, but I don't like no music. Does that make sense? I'm like one of these people just turn on the radio and I just listen to it.
Right.
So I don't know a lot about it. Now, what has been the biggest song that you've wrote or sung?
Oh, I don't know. When I was on MCA, I had a song that charted that went to 26, but I wrote a song for Big and Rich that went to number 5. I've had cuts by Gretchen Wilson and John Anderson. I wrote a title track of one of his albums, and I had 2 other cuts on there. One I wrote with him and another one I wrote with somebody else. And have had cuts by Ronnie Millsap and Gretchen Wilson.
And you're still out playing?
Oh yeah. I don't think I'll ever quit.
Well, Shannon, been a fun day.
Yeah, it sure has.
I think we're gonna run to the house, cook us some steak.
That sounds great.
Maybe we get Dad to come over and do a little picking some music.
Yeah. Yeah,
Make Dad and sister.
Yeah.
When they set the water meters, they ran right through the electricity for the garage up there, the repair shop.
So somebody didn't call 811 is what you're saying?
That's right.
You just made the right statement a second ago. You said what's on that shirt is true.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I tell everybody? It's free.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the simplest part about it, that it's really, truly a free call. Since you've been kids, y'all all been playing together?
Well, I didn't really start playing until college, but
You were singing though, your whole
I was
life.
singing, yeah. By 16, I had my one signature song.
At 4 years old, I recorded her singing Pennies from Heaven.
And all his father's brothers, not all of them, I guess, but some of them played.
Most of them did.
Ed and Thomas
Grandpa
played
played
the
the fiddle, and he made them all learn to back him up, you know. 2 or 3 of them quit as soon as they could.
When you're made to do it, that's a different story.
He almost pulled the same move with me because I had to back him up when he was learning how to play fiddle.
Oh, Lord.
So it was like, I was playing all the fiddle tunes with that kind of shuffle feel, and then he'd work out the melodies on the fiddle. So he made me learn how to play guitar partially for that, I think.
That's a great song.
It is a great song. It's just too bad that the one who remembers the words Can't sing in that key.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say, last night, I sure enjoyed your dad and sister coming over and sitting there at the barn and
Yeah.
playing some music.
That's been how we interact with each other for sure. We've always played music together. You know, that's been our main thing as a family. Always played music.
I mean, them fish are piled up in this stuff. You can just see them all over the grass. Hey, you're under, that's a crappie. Look at it, hey, it's Frank.
Frank! Hey, buddy.
I've never seen two people get so excited over catching Frank.
Oh, Frank.
Shannon says, look, if you're gonna throw in there and not catch them, I'm gonna throw back in there and catch them. I'm like, okay.
Fished that out and then I got hung up on it.
It's probably got a line on it.
Yeah, it does.
And then it's hooked on the bottom.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
You didn't even, I was up here tormenting you.
I didn't even know you had one.
I said, watch this, I gotta move him over there to you. There's Frank's, yeah, a little bit bigger brother right there.
See, now we're getting closer.
There we go. Woo, there's a little Frank again. Thank you, little buddy. I'm thanking you. You wouldn't get caught out on the lake without your favorite bait. So why would you get caught digging without calling 811?
Are you getting ready to start your own digging project? Be sure to call 811 and get your underground utilities located. It's the law and it's free.
Here, try this. This segment is brought to you by Denali Rods, tournament tested, tournament tough. There we go. That's a good crappie there.
Ain't open.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, now we're waking them up. A little fatter one there. See, and we can go back there, we can hold him up to the camera, and then he'll actually show up. He's bigger than Frank's buddies.
Now we're doing something.
All right, little fella. I guess should be saving you a mess of them, shouldn't I?
Well, I don't know if it's a keeper side.
He was keeper.
Yeah, let's keep the keepers.
You ever break any strings on a guitar?
Every show,
Does that aggravate you?
most of the time.
Okay, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
want to know, because I keep getting hung up. And this is like breaking a string on a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Flustering. Done that like 7 times now today. See, I don't count fish, I count how many times I get hung up. Because them are them not so good moments.
There you go.
Okay, now I'm gonna hate to tell you this, but you better take that color you got off and switch to that right there.
Yeah. That's doing it, huh?
I don't know, but it seems like it. I mean, that's 3 fish in 4 or 5 minutes.
Right.
Boys and girls, them is crappies. They not giants, but they are crappies.
Now that's not keeping size either, is it?
Nope.
Nope.
So like you and your sister and your dad, y'all were talking about, oh, we're gonna do something in E, and we're gonna do something in whatever. And so you start talking music, and these fish are like music to my ears.
Come sing to me.
But the dancing, man. You didn't know I had moves like that. I think I am trash talking now. I think I've gone slap happy is what's happening on that. We're not catching many off of each stick, but we can keep catching one here, one there. Look at that. Oh, that's a good crappie, boys.
There we go.
Now that is a keeper. That's what we looking for.
Yeah, look at that.
That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna hit the power poles down right here. There we go, boys. Nice little fat in there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, that's another nice one. Oh yeah, swing him in there. Oh yeah, look at it. Shannon catching them now. He says, look, you just run off and leave a good spot and I'll just catch them right behind you.
I can't see. Can't see where this thing is.
So a little while ago, Shannon and me, and we in the midst of being hung up so many times, he leaned over the side of the boat. Well, we heard a noise. Well, what we didn't realize was it was his glasses.
Yeah.
So,
And then it makes seeing hooks and fishing line a little difficult to do.
that's two off that tree right there. So you actually got to play at the Grand Ole Opry?
6 times, yeah. That's on there too, yeah.
Out of here.
Yeah. Yep, played the Opry 6 times. The first time I was introduced on there was by little Jimmy Dickens. And then, and Porter Wagner introduced me one time, and then...
So how crazy was that to be on the Grand Ole Opry?
it was pretty awesome.
I mean, was that like your childhood dream, or was it ever something that was in your mind, or?
Oh, it wasn't lost on me how, you know, how big of a deal that was. It was pretty amazing, really, to know that I was actually standing on the got a circle of wood up there that's from the original Opry stage, and that's where everybody from Hank Sr. to, you know, anybody from the 30s on up, since the beginning of the Opry, they played on that circle, and I was standing there playing on it too. It was pretty neat.
This segment is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Frank came back again.
Hey, Frank.
Frank has been our subject of the show. When somebody says, who's Frank? Well, Frank is the fish that showed up over and over and over.
The fish that would not go away.
Now it's time for your safe digging moment of the week, brought to you by 811. Always remember to call before you dig. Our 811 moment of the week has got to be Shannon Lawson and his family sitting around singing music together. Sitting underneath that lean-to, watching them start a song and the next one join right in, thinking that was dad, daughter, and son, and that they all have a passion for music. Well, that was just true enjoyment, and it was just a pleasure to hear their family stories and hear some great music. We've had, last couple of days on the water, did a little crop fishing, had a little fun.
Yeah,
of course,
buddy.
right here, as we've said a couple times, in our hometown, and something that pretty unique right here is that your Uncle Larry has actually wrote a song about Taylorsville Lake.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think there's any better way to wrap up a great trip of you coming up from Nashville to back home Taylorsville and doing a few days fishing than you with an encore here.
Right on. Well, my uncle wrote this about the city of Van Buren, where his wife came from. When they made that lake, they flooded that town. And so he wrote, he was around when all of this happened, so he wrote this song about it, and I wanted to do it for this show. The Army came to Taylorsville in 1970. They met him at the high school gym one hot July night. The colonel walked down on the stage and told the heated crowd, "You'd have to leave our bottomland to make way for the dam." And so they dammed the old Salt River where the peaceful waters flow. They raised the water 80 feet where our cornfields grow. I lost 40 acres of Salt River bottom ground. What used to be my childhood home is 65 feet down. 65 feet down, muddy water all around. What used to be my childhood home is 65 feet down. What used to be my childhood home is 65 feet down. What used to be my childhood home is 65 feet down.
The direction is brought to you by 811. Know what's below, call before you dig. We would also like to thank these fine partners. Closed captioning is brought to you by USA North. Call 811 before you dig.